Loudestro.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on how I achieved this look using all products from Juvia's Place. I tried out their new foundation and also their new pressed powder. So if you guys would like to see how I feel about the products and how I achieved this look, please be sure to continue on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, let's just get started. So I'm starting off with my eyebrows already done and my eyes nice and prepped. I'm going to be going in with the Juvia's Place Nomad palette. This is one of the newer palettes that I've been playing around with in my collection. It's not new, but it's new to me. So I'm taking this warm brown shade and I'm just going to be building this up into my crease. So this is what the shadow should look like when it's all nice and blended. Now I'm going to be taking one of my favorite palettes from Juvia's Place, the Warrior 2. Y'all do not come for me in the comments. I know this palette gets a lot of love, but I'm going to be taking the first brown shade. I think it's called Yodit, and I'm blending that underneath the previous brown shade and slightly on top of it, just to get a nice gradual blend. So now I'm going back into the Nomad palette. I'm taking that dark brown and mixing it with that charcoal grayish black color, and I'm going to be applying that right in my crease. I also went back and forth between these two colors as well as the Yodit color, just to create that nice gradual blend that we want. We don't want to see where one color stops and one color starts. We want everything to blend harmoniously together, and this is what it should look like. So I softly applied my crease, and then I went in with this beigeish color from the same Nomad palette and just applied it on top of where I cut my crease. So now I'm going back in with the dark brown shade in the Nomad palette just to close off the edges of the cut crease, and then I went back in with the Yodit shade once again just to help further blend that. So I was going to keep this eye nice and matte, but I changed my mind. So I took the color in the dead center of the Nomad palette and applied it on top of the beige color that we put down first. I first applied it with a brush, but then I switched to my finger. So next I just lined my eyes with a pencil liner, and I went back in with that charcoal black shade just to set that liner in place and to smoke it out a bit. So now I'm going in with the Magic palette from Juvia's Place. This is another newer palette I recently added to my collection, and I'm taking that darker silver shade. I first applied it in my inner tear duct and on top of the shimmery shade that we used, but I felt like it was a little too dark in my inner tear duct and I didn't like it, so I took it off and I went back in with the shimmery shade that we used in the Nomad palette, and I used that shade in my inner tear duct. So the eyes are pretty much completed. Honestly, Juvia's Place makes some of my favorite eyeshadows. You can't go wrong with them. But these are the eyes pretty much completed. So now we're going into the star of the show, the moment we all have been waiting for, the new Natural Radiance foundation from Juvia's Place that just recently came out, and also they released their powder, the I Am Magic powder foundation. So in the Natural Radiance foundation, I got the shade 350 Somalia. and it does come with a pump, as you can see, and it also says to shake the bottle. I don't know why I squirted out so much. I did not end up using all of this foundation, but first I applied my regular face primer, and then I went in to apply my foundation. I was fairly surprised because I did order this online and I got my perfect shade. So yeah, I sprayed my brush and then I went right in and started blending the foundation. This foundation is absolutely beautiful. Like, I just fell in love with this foundation, and I was fairly surprised at how much it covered. Like, I figured because it was more natural and radiant, it wouldn't have that much coverage, but there is so much coverage in this foundation. Like, it covered up my dark spots and it evened my skin tone perfectly. So you guys, go out and try this foundation if you haven't already. It's absolutely beautiful. Also too, I wanted to point out, if you have oily skin like myself, you can still use this foundation. I would just recommend maybe going in with a more mattifying primer if you want a more mattified look. So after I blended it out with my foundation brush, I did go over with my sponge just to blend it out further. So now I'm going in with the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 14, and I'm applying that on the usual places that we conceal. So on the forehead, bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and underneath the eyes. And then I'm going to be going in with my beauty blender just to blend that all out. I forgot to mention as well, this foundation is very warm on me, which I do really like a warm base foundation, but the concealer I'm currently using right now is also a warm base concealer. So just to balance out the warmness on my face, I did go in with the shade number 16, which is a more yellow golden concealer, and I applied that where we applied shade 14 just to balance out the warmness on my skin so that my skin isn't super warm. So this is what it looks like when it's all blended. Now I'm going in with the I Am Magic setting powder. This is actually my first time trying out their loose setting powder, believe it or not. But I took the shade Sahara and I went in with my setting brush and I applied that on top of the concealer to set it in place. I was actually fairly surprised with this setting powder. Like, it just had my under eye looking so smooth. I was so shook about this setting powder. Like, the way my under eye was just so flawless and smooth in person, like, I was just so shook. But now I'm going in and just dusting off that setting powder with the same brush that we used to apply it. So now we're going to be testing out the new I Am Magic press powder. I was originally going to go for another shade, but it was sold out, so I ended up going with this shade called Cameroon, and I was actually really happy that I went in with this shade because the way that it's swatching right now, as you can see, it's literally my perfect shade. So I went in with my regular face powder brush. Y'all, I was so shook about this powder. Like, the way it just sets my face, but it doesn't, like, y'all see my reaction? I was so shook. Like, the way it set my face, but it didn't overpower the colors that's already on my face. Like, this powder is so good. It's like the pigment is there, but then it's not at the same time. Like, I can't even describe it. Like, it's just so good. But now I'm going in with the Juvia's Place bronzers. This one is in the shade Dark. This is actually my first time trying out their bronzers as well. I absolutely loved how it looked on my skin, but if I'm being honest, I'm probably just gonna add this to my makeup kit. If you guys don't know, I am a New Jersey based makeup artist and I do take clients, but yeah, probably going to be adding this to my kit because I use the Warrior palette all the time as my bronzer and I love it. So yeah. So now I'm going in with the Warrior palette again, and I'm taking that mauve pink shade and I'm using that as my blush. Y'all, I wanted to try the new Juvia's Place blushes, but when I placed my order, it was sold out. So yeah, I'm just using what I have for blush. So now I'm going back in with that loose powder just to clean up my bronzer line and to sharpen my nose contour as well. So now we're going back to the eyes. I applied some black liner in my waterline, and then I went back in with the Nomad palette and I took that first brown shade that we used and I applied that on my lower lash line. So now I'm going back in with the previous brush that we used in our crease, and I'm just blending out the outskirts of the shadow because it does kind of disappear when we apply the concealer and powder. So y'all, I totally forgot that Juvia's Place sold lashes, and I forgot to buy some lashes from their site, so I just ended up using some natural lashes that I had, but I do plan on purchasing some lashes from them. So I dusted off the powder with the pressed powder foundation. Y'all, like, I just fell in love with this powder foundation. The way it dusted off my under eye but still kept it bright, like, I was just so shook about this powder. Like, I don't know, like, this powder is just everything. So after I dust it all off, I'm going back in with the shimmery shade and I just applied that on the top and bottom of my nose bridge just to highlight it, and also on my Cupid's bow as well. So now we're moving on to the lips. So I took my makeup wipe just to clean off all the residue on my lips, and I went in with a black liner just to line my lips. And now I'm going in with the Juvia's Place lipstick in the shade Muted. This is a cool tone nude shade, which I absolutely love. And I applied it on my lips, and then I went over the lip line with that shade just to blend it out. Now you can leave it like this, but of course I'm going in with some gloss. I took the Coffee Shop gloss in the shade Honey Honey. Y'all, this smells so good. Like, it was just so good. But yeah, this is the final look. So this is the final look, you guys. Eyes, skin, lips, everything. Like, my skin just looked absolutely kissable in person and on camera too. I absolutely fell in love with all of the products that I tried from Juvia's Place. Like, you guys just can't go wrong with Juvia's Place. Like, they're just that girl. But let me know how you guys like this look in the comment section down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.